You're watching match number 3, and Griffin Colapinto has made his dream come true. The first part of the dream of being able to compete on his home break to compete for his first world title after missing out on a spot 2 seasons in a row.
Yeah, he's like, all right, count me out. I like being in the underdog, but based off of his last performance in the first match, he's to me the best surfer we've seen all morning.
Griffin will take the first wave. It's a lowers left. Going down to 2 backside snaps. Off the lip on the 3rd. Whitewater section. He'll whip that mayhem right through it and climb the finish, and already celebrating towards the crowd where Kaipo is right now.
Yeah, that's right. We're in the crowd. What'd you think, Brett? Hey, it's fucking on. Come on, bro. Let's fucking go, yeah.
Flowing that all to Griff here in the world title showdown. Back to the left to kick things off, Pete.
Yeah, well, I think this was a wave to get loose and to see where he was in rhythm. I mean, it feels like he's there. He's on point. Everything looks perfect. You know, this wave, you talk about wave choices, he's got to be able to be on the best waves. But this means right here, he's going to put a number up here. But I think with Ethan Ewing, where he's been sitting and where he's been at the level he's at today, he's going to need to produce much bigger numbers than what we're going to see on this wave here.
So interesting, taking the left here. Was this necessary, Mitch?
For him, I believe so. I think for Ethan, you got to be a bit more patient. You need to be very selective. And as Richie was mentioning earlier, he's extremely efficient with his wave count too. I personally like this, just as you, Pete. I think it's very smart to get things going for you. This is your first match. You surfed all day long. You've been seeing everybody compete before you.
Ethan on his opener against Griffin Colapinto. Smooth as it gets off the bottom. Carved a tail release. Belts it vertically. In motion to shut it down again. Ethan has been sensational today. Doesn't need a warm-up. It was kind of crazy. The crowd was silent on that one, Pete.
Yeah, well, I mean, as expected. I mean, considering that the crowd is 99% in favor of Griffin Colapinto, but the surfing here is exceptional, and he's bringing an X factor in his carves, in his same style and approach. Yeah. And I just got word that this board here is actually a board that is built with epoxy resin but a polyurethane core, which DHD had to text him, hey, what's your theory behind this? He's getting more spring, more feel out of it. It's not going to feel like that jittery feel that a styrofoam core will give you. He'll get kind of right in the middle of a PU board and an epoxy style board, and it looks like it's going really good.
A lot of stability on that board right there, and it obviously looks like it's working great too, but I think his wave selection has been on point.
Griffin Colapinto checking out the lowers right. Deep bottom turn, nice fade. Throws that whipping cut back to start. Wraps it on the second effort. Throws down a beautiful frontside rip in the pocket. And now shuts it down. Chucks the fins out. Put a little extra on what looked like kind of just a float section. That's just his ability to surf sections up to get more points from the panel.
Pressure when he needs to. You know, he pushes hard when he needs to, like right here in this section, driving that back foot through the snap. This wave flattened out right here, but gets the whip, gets a little bit more carve and spring. Again, this one digs into it, and then the unweighting right here, up and over the drift, a little extra by drifting across the lip like the coping.
Yeah, spontaneous, I think, is a good word to describe this wave. Real good engagement of the rails here, and as you can see, he's always tight in the pocket too. Really engages that driver 3.0 that he's been working a lot with, Matt, and it's actually the same model that Caroline Marks is riding. They're both opting for the round tail too. We're just going to give you a bit more control on these bigger set waves. But as you can see here, clean, precise, and always in motion. Pete, love the technique.
Yeah, and I do. I mean, this board, again, you can see the dents are on it. This was the magic board that he had in El Salvador. This was the one he kept on ice. It's well used, but not too much, because you don't want that board to die. You know, these boards get aged, they get a little older, but this one looks like it has that spark and is doing everything he wants it to do.
Matt Ballas said their team Glasser was on holiday.
Back to the Surf Ranch again?
No, I talked to Matt. He's not going to invite any team riders. It's all about the employees this year. As we look at Colapinto whipping that first section off the bottom, fins out, third maneuver, beautiful movements through the end section.
As you look at Griffin's score here, his maneuvers are done in the lip, right? This one here attacks the lip. Yeah, it was horizontal, but he needed to do that, and then boom, in the lip again. It's not out in the face, and a finish move in the lip. Those are critical sections. Those 3 elements are going to be noted. It's going to be a better number for Griffin. You know, this one here, he tags it, which is in the lip. Again, that's risky. That's that commitment. He had to keep it going down the line because the speed needed to get there to get to these next 2 sections because it was going to shut down pretty quickly. This one here, fins out the top. That's a beautiful move there. That's a different style of move that we haven't seen yet from Griffin. And then he gets the finish in the lip. Again, on that lip. It's not out in the face. He's not doing carves. completely different than what we're going to see from Ethan Ewing in this next one. But Ethan just somehow searing through those carbs.
I think Griffin still has at least 2 more gears to go to.
Griffin's calling on the energy now. Ethan up now. Cool wrapping cutback. Always smooth in transition. Like a hot knife through butter. He'll bust the fins out. Throws it off the lip for an extended slide.
Like even his cutbacks are different than everybody else because of the acceleration through the carb. It's crazy that he's bringing this level of surfing.
This should be another strong number for Ethan Ewing. As you mentioned, it didn't seem like there was a lot of scoring potential on this one. It was a really flat wave. That first one was real strong, and then he goes to that rail again. And look at this finishing maneuver. I mean, he ditches the fins outside, somehow able to control that. Looking for just a 4.33. Easily going to be that scoring a lot more. But it's just the power difference to me. You can't match power with power when it comes to Griffin Colapinto and Ethan Ewing. I think right now Griff really needs to recognize that he needs to be on 2 good waves in the next 20 minutes to defeat Ethan Ewing right here.
Yeah, just a pair of 6s ain't going to cut it.
No.
Yeah, especially when you look already, Ethan's got an 8.17. This will be below, I imagine.
Time for Griffin to turn it up. Sets up that first hook. Solid so far. Second move off the lip. Patiently waiting for this section and hammers it.
Hey, it has been great surfing today. I mean, there's no one making mistakes. Everyone, even the losers, are ripping.
But I thought the wave selection was on point. I thought the use of priority was great as well. Much better carve right there, a lot more committed. Good engagement of the rails right here, but this last turn I felt like he could have gone a lot larger. There's a lot of meat left on the bone to me personally at the end of that one. And I know there's still a lot of time left on the clock, but we're still waiting on the score for Ethan Ewing.
Best thing yet is that we just got wave after wave after wave, and that's exactly what you want to see. Is you want to see the ability for these surfers to get opportunities. There again, compression through the lip. That's his standard move. When he gets in the lip, he's able to compress and drift across the top. There he gets that tail above. You know, there's a little crease in the lip right there, so it wasn't exactly he could push. It was almost pushing away from him, so he had to work to get that drift. He likes it, and again, a great finish move.
He shared surfing with the globe, including Australians, where he has statues all over the world. So for short, we can call it the Duke from here on out.
Freshwater, right? Freshwater Beach.
That's right, 13:30 to go. The kid from Stratty sets up that big open face hook. Driving into another big wrapping cutback. And shuts it down beautifully. No mistakes from Ethan Ewing. Buttery transitions.
Considering how much speed he's carrying, it doesn't look like he's ever trying to get it. It's just always there for him. You know, punching off the bottom, and that's all about technique. That's about where his body placement is. It's about equipment, so good on DHT.
Griffin Colapinto is going to have the crowd on their feet. Local boy rolls into his first turn. Twisted wrap on that first section. Belts it again in the pocket. Great transition for the vertical foam climb. Every celebration for Griff is emotional as he looks up to the sky. A man that's not afraid to be vulnerable. Check out his last wave, Pete.
How beautiful was this wave? I mean, it had just this nice little glassy crinkles on the face and 2 beautiful hacks and a straight up vertical hit to finish. Nice size wave that makes for bigger critical sections. And I feel like this is going to be Griffin's best wave. Beautiful work too. See how he whips through it? He actually drives his arm through that last move, gets it down nicely, keeping it nice and paced too, because you almost feel like in this situation you'd be too rushed. You're almost like, I got to do something super dynamic, super huge. He didn't. He just made it happen nice and smooth. That move up there glides up and over. See how his body had to extend to get up and over it, and he did it. And I love the passion.
8.13 for Ewing, 8.23 for Griff on their last exchange. Ethan still out front. Griffin needs an 8.07 running after the left. Backside reverse as he gets stuck. And the crowd falling with him, Mitch.
I'm going to let you take it away because this could be one of those waves for Griffin.
Griffin throws the vertical. Needs a whole lot more. Throws the fins towards the beach. Incomplete on the punt. Crosby starting to hold his breath. Next turn goes to Ethan Ewing. Whips it quickly. Hammers it. And then throws a vertical climb to shut it down. His worst score in this heat's a 7.
That's gone.
Counting a couple of big 8s. And Ethan Ewing is just getting better and better in front of our eyes, Pete.
It could change the heat. It could turn the heat. But this one right here feels like another score for Ethan Ewing. I mean, big driving turn there, and then this snap hoofing it. Just incredible.
I actually think the time off might have been beneficial to his surfing. I mean, just a refresher. Your body's getting some rest. A few weeks ago, he didn't even know if he was going to be able to surf, and next thing you know, is able to come here to lower trestles. You get that social media clip, and he's a contender. I mean, look at the commitment to that turn right there, the amount of difficulty and the progression element, as you were mentioning, Joe, on rail on the face of the wave, and that is a crucial turn right there at the end, too. It is difficult to go up and over the lip line like that.
For everyone else watching it right here, just keep it here, and we'll continue to the Rip Curl WSL Finals. Ewing with a little paste up and out.
Smart stuff, though, because you're just getting everybody else involved in the game right here.
And now coming down to the final minute, Ewing's going to take this wave, setting up that big first hook. Fading now off the bottom. Little snap in the pocket, out in front, throwing the wrapping turn. Throwing down a tail high reverse just to mix things up. Ewing misses the punt. His scores will likely stay the same.